Okay, now we have the Educating the Jewelry Industry session. So I call on stage Alessia Crivelli, Michel Baldocchi, Olivier Segura, Aurélien Delaunay.
Hello, hello. Oh. So, I guess I get to sit down. It's nice. Thank you all. Educational specialists, and I'm very much looking forward to hearing your take on education. Before I do that, I want to, having just been through the CIBJO guides, etc., and some of the things that CIBJO is doing, Gaetano launched the CIBJO Academy a little while back. And the main focus of that academy to begin with was to bring the CIBJO Blue Books to light. As I've put it before, those wonderful Blue Books which people have spent, and if you look at the documents we saw last night, over 90 or 99 years, the development of those documents, the problem we all realized was the documents were really well developed, and then they were put on a shelf, and nobody saw them. And what do we do about that? And Gaetano said we have to tell people. We have to drive this forward. And so one of the things that we've been doing is taking those Blue Books and teaching the content of the Blue Books. It can be quite boring because they are ISO formatted type of documentations. So you really have to jazz it up a little bit to actually make people sit up and listen and say, okay, these shalls and shall nots, they're not so bad if you really understand what's going on. So we have to jazz it up a little bit in terms of an education program. As we've gone forward, and as I mentioned a moment ago, we've been developing the guides. And there have been a number of the guides. We have the Coral Guide, we have the Pearl Guide, we will now have the Jade Guide, and so on. And those guides, as I mentioned a moment ago, are really devised to avoid the words, you shall do this or you shall not do that. But they're devised to encourage people to learn about the product and then drive it forward. That's from the CIBJO perspective. And we've been very excited about how we've gone about that. And I'd really like to hear from everybody here, and everybody else wants to hear from here, what is your approach here in the education? What can CIBJO learn from you to drive things forward? So I don't know who. I'm not picking on anybody. You can go first.
Okay, thank you. Well, for us at the School of Jewelry Art, our aim is really to share with the general public, to everybody. And of course, we are not here to share and to form and to train for professional, but just to plant the seeds. And of course, amongst, as the title is for the jewelry industry, but of course, amongst the general public, there is future professionals, and there is also a lot of professionals that have, of course, a deep knowledge in their own topic, but they want to discover a bit of everything else. And it's quite difficult to find this place, and that's why we develop our courses, exhibition programs, because we think also there is different way to learn. Not everybody is interested to go in a classroom and to listen to a teacher. So that's why, of course, we have classroom, we have courses, but we propose also different paths of knowledge. Exhibition is a good one. Books, as we talked previously, is also a very good one. Talks, podcasts. So different way to have access to this knowledge and to have access to this education, self-education or shared education with a teacher with a very specific pedagogy, which is always very hands-on. We think that you learn and you understand and you are amazed more if you are able to touch by yourself and to experiment by yourself. So this is a wrap-up in few minutes of what we can propose in our different campuses or programs.
I asked one question there while you still have the microphone in your hand. So I can remember you did some incredible pearl exhibitions in Dubai.
And in Paris, just nearby.
Yeah, I know. But I'm thinking of Dubai.
Yeah.
And just incredible.
Thank you.
So what did you learn from such an exhibition? You say that it's the people that come in, right? You're not getting any professionals come in, maybe a few, but it's the public that are coming into the exhibitions. So did you collect data from that to actually say, oh, you know, maybe 10% are really interested, 90% don't care? I mean, what was the results of that?
Yes, thank you. It's a good question. First, I learned that we need to be very careful on the title, because our title was a pearl merchant, and many people came to buy pearls. So yes, this is a part of what we need to be careful. But yes, more seriously, I think we were really happy to discover and to see that every people who came to the exhibitions were interested to discover different parts of the exhibition. The historical part, the gemological part, the trade part, the beauty on the jewelry part. So yes, I think what is interesting and what is important for us is to really have the maximum topics, visibility, audience, really to share with everybody. And yes, it's a great learning curve also for the following exhibitions. As for example, here in Paris, when we reproduce, we add this add-on, as I say, like this experimental experience. Starting, for example, here in the exhibitions with a huge basin of pearls, so everybody can touch and have the feeling of the pearls. As you and I, we know that pearls are very sensual, are very specific, and every time I talk about pearls, I do this gesture because we need to touch pearl to understand the pearls. So that's why we learn from our visitors. Of course, we need to ask them and to interact with them. But yes, we learn a lot and we improve, I hope, in every of our projects.
That's so true. Thank you. Yeah, why not? You're the closest.
Just for me. No, also because I thank you to bring me here, and I'm representing a foundation, you know, Man Intelligente Foundation, and we are not a school. But we are a group of industries and brand and small company, big company, medium company. So we can bring our knowledge. We can bring something regarding the real world, so you know, the real business. So we are a very small bridge because CIBJO is the biggest bridge in this world between the world of work, institutional, and education. So we are a very small bridge, and we try to do our best to put the attention of the business, but also on the students. So the communication, you say something very interesting. The communication, the possibility to study what they want and to touch and to see all our business, our world. So they can choose, they can select, and they can fall in love with our business. That's the key, in my opinion.
In developing passion.
Developing passion and discover the passion, because our young generation have a lot of passion inside. Our responsibility is to discover it and bring it to the light.
It's interesting. How do you do that? How do you do that? I mean, you have maybe a group of students, and they're here, but how do you recognize that 3 out of 4 have amazing passion, and maybe the other one needs more encouragement? How do you go about that? Please.
Please, I'm Michel Baldecchi, and I want to say something. My English is very poor. I live in Paris, I work in Paris, I'm French, so my English is very poor. But Colin here is going to translate, and I have this too. What is the question?
How do you recognize passion?
Comment reconnaître la passion? Je crois qu'il y a des éléments très objectifs pour cela. À la Haute École de Joaillerie, nous avons 850 élèves, 850 étudiants. Et la passion est quelque chose dont il faut se méfier. C'est quelque chose de beaucoup plus précis que nous allons chercher chez nos étudiants. La précision, la minutie, la capacité à devenir des futurs joailliers. Donc nous avons mis en place toute une série d'éléments, de tests, de concours extrêmement précis pour pouvoir déterminer tout cela chez les futurs joailliers, les futurs praticiens de la bijouterie joaillerie, les futurs designers, les futurs gémologues qui vont rejoindre la Haute École de Joaillerie.
Okay. So what Michel said was that passion is also a very beautiful quality, but sometimes it's not enough. So that's why all of our 850 students passes tests with specific skills, so we can select them and maybe just try them to get them to their professional goals in the Haute École de Joaillerie.
So how many, can I just stay there for a second? Just 1 second. I got one more question here then. How many students do you have throughout the year, and what are the success rates?
We have 850 students on 3 sites. We have 1 site in Paris, 1 campus in Paris, 1 in Lyon, and 1 in the Aix-en-Provence, which is in the south of France. And excuse me, c'est quoi le pourcentage de réussite? Okay, we have 99% of success rate in our schools, so yes.
What happens to the 1%?
That is up to the legend. Yes.
I'm very pleased to have someone from the French Labois, who's I have a long personal association going way back to the very early 1970s with Jean-Paul
Poirot, yes, former
so
director.
And visited many times. And when you were talking a moment ago about feeling the pearls, Paris, of course, is the city of pearls.
Yeah.
And
it was the beginning of the lab in Paris. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's maybe you can. We can relish that history and enjoy that history, and I love it. But what is the lab doing now in terms of educating its clients or other people in the product?
Yeah, French gemology is very famous in the world because it's the oldest one, and I can say that Joseph Chaumet, an old jeweler in Paris, in 1904 was he done a beautiful conference about ruby and how to detect ruby from Myanmar, from Thailand, and also from artificial stones. And it was a duty for him to share this knowledge with professionals and also with the public, yeah, and the final consumer, of course. So it's our duty in the lab to continue this duty to share knowledge to our consumers and to our clients, of course. And we, I think, in the beginning of the lab, there are some courses, and we continue now to share knowledge, to share passion, because what we talk about gems, it's about passion. So we continue that.
That's wonderful. I mean, can you tell? Can you describe some of the courses that you do?
Yeah. The major course was the certificate de qualification professionnelle. It is a certificate from professional qualification about how to use gems in the business. So it's a professional course with a lot of training, a lot of practical session. So the goals of the courses was to know gemstone, of course, to know how to recognize, to identify gemstones, and how to talk about gemstones to the final consumer. And I think it's the most important. It's to share our passion for the student and after for the end consumer.
Thank you so much. You want to show your video? I think it's maybe it'd be nice to see a video at the time.
Yes, thank you, because you propose to have some documents, and indeed we have some videos, some images from what we are doing in Hong Kong. So I'm in charge for Asia Pacific. So we have here a school, so 250 meters from here. So if you want to visit what we are doing, we are preparing a new exhibition here in Paris. We develop also a bookstore dedicated to jewelry and gems and the jewelry arts. So for all who wants to visit, and yes, we can launch when I'm speaking through our different programs. We have some sounds. Okay, I cannot talk. But it's just music. Yes, from our different programs in our different campuses, because we have permanent campus in Paris, Hong Kong, Dubai, Shanghai, soon in Tokyo and in New York. We welcome more than 350,000 people through our different programs. So as I said, different way to learn, discover, learn, wonder, as is our motto, through jewelry. And again, there is for everybody different arts, different craftsmanship. And thanks to, I would like also to thank the CIBJO and all the experts, because we cannot do anything without you. Of course, there is some experts in our team, but it's not enough to cover all the fields, all of the jewelry arts fields. So we need you, we need the expert to realize talks, to produce new exhibitions, to write new books, to publish your books. So that's why we need absolutely this exchange, this way, go and back with the industry, because what we like also is to share and also to create new knowledge. It's not only to share, not only to transmit, but it's also to create new knowledge. And from Hong Kong, from my perspective, I'm really happy also to partner with universities and, for example, to support a new PhD that will start next year or this year, and we will support a new PhD on what was the place of Hong Kong in the diamond trade and in the jewelry trade, because this history was not written yet, and we want to know more about it. And I have a lot of new ideas for PhD also, to work with some Thai universities. We start some discussion with them, and some Australian also universities on some more gemology related topics. So industry is really important, of course, to share, to educate, and to promote, but also for us to exchange and to welcome all your ideas, topic, experts for our students and our audience.
Very, very interesting. How important, I'll ask everybody this, how important is it to give a qualification like you said, you're developing a PhD scenario. I know that, for example, in the UK, in the Birmingham University, they have a bachelor's in gemology, etc. Is there such a thing in Paris, for example? Do we have a recognizable qualification such as a bachelor's or a master's or a PhD? Is there such a thing?
Alors, je vais le lire en français et Colin va le traduire dans quelques instants. Bien entendu qu'il existe de très nombreux titres et de diplômes en France préparés par la Haute École de Joaillerie pour sanctionner les cursus de nos étudiants, que ce soit en fabrication, en design. Ces titres sont soit des titres nationaux, portés par l'éducation nationale en France, comme des CAP ou des brevets des métiers d'art, des titres spécifiques à l'école, comme le certificat supérieur de joaillerie. Pour ceux qui ont visité l'école hier, vous avez pu voir des étudiants d'ailleurs qui préparaient ce titre et ce diplôme. Et les formations vont depuis les CAP jusqu'au master. Toutes les formations de la Haute École de Joaillerie se terminent, proposent un diplôme.
We have many different diplomas with different specificities. We have the students that you've seen yesterday, which were present here, where maybe you went to the school to do a quick little visit. They prepare the Certificat Supérieur de Joaillerie, which is, we could translate it as an advanced jewelry craftsmanship certificate, where they learn how to make a jewel from A to Z. So from the concept to really have it in hand. We have also diplomas with designs where they practice, where they have aid computing design with 3D modeling. We have also all of those diplomas are specific to France. They are national diplomas that are recognized by the state and that are also at the level of the Minister of Education of France. And that's what we propose at the high of the the Jewellery School of Arts. Sorry. Yes, all of our diplomas are the students get to have a diploma at the end with each of our diplomas.
Excellent.
And for gemstones, we have our own certificate, but also we are an examination center for the FIG diploma, the European Gemologist diploma. So it's the same examination in all the countries. So I think it's very important because it permits a lot of exchanges between countries, between professionals, and I think it's the key, the exchange between all.
How important do you think it is?
Yes. Thank you. No, we have a master in Italy. So after bachelor, a master of prime level on gemology. So is new.
In gemology?
In gemology, yes, yes.
Okay.
And if I permit, just in France, we have the DUG, DUG, which is a university diploma in gemology in 2 universities, just in Nantes and in Lyon. It permits to have a lot of knowledge in analytical laboratory gemology. Yeah.
I was hoping you'd bring that up. Because Emmanuel has become very famous globally of producing gemologists to PhD levels. And in fact, I saw you all at the recent IGC conference, all lined up
last week. Yes.
Last week, as very successful students from Nantes. So fantastic. I think actually France seems to be doing extraordinarily well in the education of people in this industry, shall we call it. So glad you mentioned that.
Thank you to Emmanuel and all his team.
Do we have any questions from the audience? I don't want to leave the audience out here. Yes, yeah, we have one educationalist sitting over there who is been dying for probably about 30 minutes to ask a question.
Thank you, Ken.
Yeah.
This is not Charles Ice Cream. I think this is a different one.
Okay.
So I'm really happy to see in the CIBJO Congress education being a topic on a panel. And although we have mentioned professional education, the education of the trade, whether it is the education of the stakeholders, the dealers for best practices, for gemology, the salespeople into knowing how to tell the story so they can trigger the passion and the emotion that will close the sale. And this is a critical thing. I would add something else, which is educating through social media to reach the audience. CIBJO produces, and all of you produce, a series of contents that are really, as I've said with the guides, valid documentation and value factual that can be shared with a greater audience through Instagram, TikTok, with or without the dancing, and the LinkedIn and Facebook, so the consumer and even the trade, they can read it and they can be inspired to understand the story or to tell the story, so we can keep as a profitable and a thriving industry, because in the end of the day, it is the sales that maintain us all here. So if we can share the passion through information, through history, through cultural heritage, even through science, we will do a great job for the whole industry. Thank you. It was a comment, not a question, but thank you very much.
If I say, Rui, in gemology, you have to touch the gemstone. So in line, it's much difficult.
Yes, and if I may also, Ken, and thank you, Rui, for your intervention. I think it's totally right. And education is very important, but at the end, there is some business. And with my second hat, as a gemologist, I am also the referent for Van Cleef & Arpels for gemstones in Asia Pacific. So I have the opportunity to meet some clients, of course not to sell, I'm not here to sell, but to explain what are the gemstones, what is the difficulty to create a jewelry, a piece of jewelry. And every time I'm always amazed, one, by the level of knowledge, which is quite different, but some of the clients have very large and very huge knowledge, but also what is the power of information, of education, of transmitting. Because all the clients I meet, and they are very important clients and very important pieces, you can imagine, but every time I talk about the stone, I talk about what is the chemistry, the history, the craftsmanship, they are all amazed. And they are always more interesting to buy when they know more about the specific stones or the specific piece of jewelry. So it's a very powerful tool that, unfortunately, sometimes we tend to forget for the sailors or for the workforce, but it's a very important, I think, very important tool.
So telling the story. Explaining the story. Oh, who was first? Oh, I'm sorry.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for this fantastic panel. My name is Iris van der Vieken. I'm the Executive Director of the Watch and Jewelry Initiative 2030. First of all, congratulations. I also believe in the power of education, but also in the power of lifelong learning. We all have to continue to learn. And what I often see in the industry, that there's a lot of inconsistency in education. So my call for action to you is how can we bring this quality, because quality over quantity, to the wider industry, even if it's with some small modules that we all acknowledge to use and nothing else. Because we confuse our employees, we confuse our leaders, we confuse our retailers. So consistency matters. And I can only say congratulations, because education means the world to me.
Can I come back to you on that? Can you keep the microphone for a second? I think it's important to understand where those inconsistencies are, where those confusion points are. Rui mentioned use a lot of social media to educate. Sorry, Rui, I'm going to You can come back at me on this. But, I find a lot of the misinformation is coming through social media education, if you like. Is that what you're talking about, or is it something else?
No, I'm not going to really talk about specific companies, but I have seen a lot of models on education in my life, on introduction to the industry, introduction to gemology. Okay. And often I see myself, and I'm not an expert, absolutely inconsistencies that do not make sense. But once it's out there, it confuses. So my call for action is there should be a principal agreement to the content that we respect it, we use it, we update it, that there is really a process and a methodology for consistency in the industry. That's actually my call for action.
That's great. Any comments?
What I can say in gemology, with the FIG diploma in Europe, all the syllabus, all the topics inside this diploma is shared. So you can add to your courses every topics, every gemstones, and I think it's important. And you have an homogeneity inside all the training centers. So, yeah.
Yes, and I have also the quite of same answer as Aurélien. We said yesterday that we need to share, and I think for us, for education, it's also the way to have the best consistency is really to share. So that's why we, for example, maybe we are not at the same level as what you are doing, and we are not training to become a professional, but still, we ask the community to come and to share with us, through us, and to create some program together. So I think, as we said yesterday, and as also stressed Aurélien, we need absolutely to discuss together and to align, as you say. And of course, it's more easy to say than to do. And again, thanks to everybody to collaborate in our different programs and projects, as we need the industry and we need to share and we need to agree, as you say, on the topic.
What I can add is just when you begin a course, you have different teachers, and every teacher is different, so every person is different. So you have some skills, you have some different skills when it's a teacher and another one. So you have not the same courses in each country. Yeah.
Oui, moi je voudrais rajouter quelque chose en français. La participation des professionnels à la formation d'une manière générale est fondamentale, bien entendu. Il ne peut pas y avoir de formation professionnelle, surtout dans un secteur aussi complexe que celui de la joaillerie, avec tous les éléments que ça implique, toutes les facettes, j'allais dire, qu'il y a, sans que cela s'appuie sur les professionnels. La Haute École de Joaillerie met en place ses propres titres, ses propres diplômes, et tous sont faits, sont écrits avec des groupes de travail auxquels participent les professionnels. Ils sont intimement liés à la formation et ils évoluent très très régulièrement en fonction des besoins de l'industrie.
So in our work-study program, in general at the Haute École de Joaillerie, we have the participation of industries and of companies is fundamental and is determinant to the success of the student. So we take a great how can I formulate this? We are really dedicated to educate our learners, our students, to really adapt to a professional environment. So there will not be any discrepancies in any fields.
In my opinion, education is a teamwork, because we are building the future and we have a very big responsibility to our future, to our industry. So I was born in my factory. So this is my life, and I think it's the life of all the people are inside this room. And I think it's a team working. So communication, sharing knowledge, the keys.
Thank you, Edward Johnson from Gemfields. Great conversation, and a critical conversation. Obviously, we've all had different engagement with education in the industry, but there's one word and one aspect that I just wanted to bring up, which is talking about the source, where the stones, where the metals come from, all right? And, from where I see, and I'm coming at this from a Gemfields perspective, all right, where we own and run 2 significant mines. And I'm pleased to see there's one panelist who's visited us before. Olivier spent time with us in CIBJO mine in Zambia a couple of years ago, and it was a great privilege, and along with one of your education specialists. But we get so many requests to visit the mine from social media influencers, so many more than from educational institutes. And the younger generation, yes, they want to know about the formation, the gemology that many of us have studied. They want to know about the fabrication, the savoir-faire, as you call it. But they also need to know about where the material that we use comes from. And I think we really need to bring that more and more into our education. And I'm speaking as somebody who, trained with GIA a long time ago. And what we were taught then is very different to what I see when I'm at our mines, okay? So I think we need to update our education on where the material comes from. This is kind of, like Iris, a bit of a call to action, but I'm hearing my mine manager's voice in my head saying, don't invite more guests to our mine because, our job is to mine. We're not a tourist attraction. But it is a call to action that if any qualified educational establishments wish to visit a significant ruby mine, actually not in Mozambique, but let's invite you to Zambia for the emerald mine. Please come and speak to me. I'll be happy to have a discussion about it.
Thank you. Thank you, and yes, thank you for welcoming us a few years ago. And as we said, as an introduction, what we like, and I think in education, is to transmission, of course, but try to transmit the emotion. And of course, not everybody can travel and go to visit your mines or the different production mines, but we try to transmit this emotion by sending our experts, myself sometime when I can, in different mines. I was in Mogok, in Zambia, in Australia, in Borneo Diamonds mines last year, because we want to transmit this emotion through movies, through talks, through explanation. And you're right, it's a great part of the interest, and for us specifically for the general public, of course for the professional, but even it's where everything starts for the stones, where everything happened for the craftsmanship and for the atelier. So we reproduce some workshops, we bring the tools, we bring the specialists, and I am organizing, for example, next month in Hong Kong, a program around diamonds, where I will have some diamond cutter working, explaining what is the work of a diamond cutter. So I bring really the workshop to the general public. And as you say, I think it's an important way, let's say, to share this emotion, to share this knowledge, as we think that it's the best way, starting with emotion. It's a great way to catch the people. As again, there are people, our visitors, our students are not here to become a professional, so they are not doing all their preparation in their mind. They're just here to discover. So we need to catch them, to plant the seed, and after they go in new schools, they go to become a professional, of course, to grow and develop.
If I may, thank you, Ed, just for maybe to come to your mine in Zambia. So just what can I add? It's the combination between the lab and the education, because in the lab we see a lot of things. We see new deposits, we see new treatments, new synthetics, and gemology courses evolves. We have to add the news. We have to add some new species, some new tools, etc., etc. And I think it's important to have this sharing between the lab and the education. So thank you. Yes, I think the new deposits are very important.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, thank you. My name is Leah, and I'm here from the Rappaport Group. So I wanted to thank Gaetano and the team for this incredible conference. It's really, really interesting. And like you mentioned earlier, it's very interesting to learn about different kinds of gems and precious stones that I do not deal with every single day. Coming from the diamond industry, and as we all know that the largest threat right now is the synthetic diamonds. And since you're coming from the educational side of the industry, which I think not only are your students in the new age group and are the future consumers, if you want to call it, or represent the future consumers, I think that maybe we have to work, like you mentioned. Are you Aurel? I forgot your first name. I don't see it up anymore, but you mentioned teamwork, and I think that's very important for the industry to work together. And since you're in the educational field, from the top down, to work against the idea of synthetic diamonds. And in fact, Martin Rappaport called me this morning and he asked me if I can please communicate, and he thanks you very much for the educational aspect, for working in the industry. And he said what he feels would be an important move is that on every invoice, the following quote, and I'm just going to quote Martin, that synthetic diamonds do not appreciate in value like natural diamonds because they can be created in unlimited quantities and are not subject to the same supply limitation as natural diamonds. Not that we're working against synthetics, but we think that the consumer must be educated as well, not just the students. So I think that is just, something that I'd like the industry to pay attention to from Martin. Thank you.
Can I just jump in there?
Sure.
I think it's a topic that has been, in terms of diamond, brushed under the carpet for some time. And I'm just very pleased that the Diamond Commission of CIBJO and the Colorstone Commission of CIBJO are putting forward amendments to both blue books, the Diamond Blue Book and the Colorstone Blue Book, deleting all reference to laboratory grown and laboratory created, and only accepting the word synthetic.
Thank you very, very much.
This is way overdue, and I think we all agree to that. The only word within our lexicon that is well defined in this respect is synthetic.
Yes.
Laboratory grown is not well defined. Neither is laboratory created well defined, certainly in terms of the product of which you allude to. So yeah, I don't know whether anybody would put that statement on the bottom of their invoices. It's rather long, but I think to say to Martin, nice try. What does the panel think?
What is very powerful with education is that we can talk about everything. So, of course, when we have questions about synthetic diamonds, there is no problem to talk about synthetic diamonds. We are here to transmit. We are here to talk about everything. And, of course, we talk about what it is. So it is a synthetic diamond. I have no problem to talk about a synthetic diamond. I am a gemologist. I'm here to talk about the truth of the jewelry arts. And with my second hat, when I meet some clients, sometimes I have questions from clients. You cannot imagine the question we have about synthetic diamond, of course, but also, I bought at another company yesterday this stone. Do you think it's a good stone or a bad stone? And I see the salesperson, they are terrifying. What to answer to this question? But with my hat of education, it's very simple, because I talk about the fact, I talk about what it is, I talk about gemology, and I am not saying it's good, it's bad. I'm not saying it's better, it's worse. I'm just talking about what it is. And this is, for me, one, it's really easy. And second, again, it's very, very powerful. And I'm not here to debate, is it good or bad? Is it synthetic diamonds better or worse? No, it's not my topic. We are here to share. What we like is to have our consumer, even if it's not the topic of l'école, but to have the people aware of what it is. And they do their choice.
Thank you. And then I'm just going to add one more thing to what I think Edward Johnson mentioned. The Rappaport Group agrees 100% with what you were saying, and we actually do have twice a year trade missions. Twice a year, I can explain it to you afterwards, to Sierra Leone, and they're extremely successful, where we take a group of about 30 people, a lot of them are students or people in the retail, to see exactly the mines and how diamonds are mined. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? I think this hand came first. Yes. Yes.
I'll try to be quick. With respect to Martin Rappaport, I think there's something very dangerous if the industry moves in a direction of trying to bash the synthetic product. I think we end up in what we, forgive me, what we call a pissing match with the competition. And I think that would bestow a very bad aura on our entire industry. And I don't think it's necessary. The only thing that's necessary, let's face it, we are in a semantic battle with the synthetic product. It's only words. And when the synthetic people achieved that victory with the American FTC to allow lab-grown, that's when the poison entered the system, the bite of the rabid dog, if you will. All we have to do, it's very simple, to win the battle, we have to take the pledge, I think Roberto was saying this yesterday, to not ever let the L word cross our lips. We only say synthetic. If we do that, the semantics, the meaning of the word will win the battle for us. If the American consumer understood that they were buying something called synthetic, they would run, not walk away from that purchase. And so that, I think, with respect to Martin, it's not needed to put something like that. We just need the S word, not the L word, and we win the battle.
Thank you. Excellent.
Yes, I'm agree with him, because since the beginning, this was the problem, and this created a part of the confusion Iris was speaking about before.
And this is education panel, and this what you just said is education. So I don't want us to delve into big arguments, etc., that are non-educational, but this is educational. As I said earlier, synthetic is clearly defined in the gem industry. There's no need for any other discussion. That's it.
No, I get it. So, so pleased to hear you talking about education and collaboration. My question is on sustainability. Because sourcing, of course, understanding the sources are crucial, critical, because you have to understand where it comes from, but also you have to understand what you can do to improve your sourcing. You have to understand that you need to know your suppliers, work with your suppliers, and try to make sure that communities thrive. So I wanted to understand how you include sustainability, whether you wanted to call it CSR, RSE, ESG, environmental, social, and governance. How do you include that in your education? Thank you.
Je vais peut-être dire deux petites choses. Effectivement, tout d'abord, pour revenir un tout petit peu sur ce qui a été dit avant sur le diamant synthétique, on a vu que c'était une partie importante du débat. Bien entendu que ces notions sont intégrées dans la formation et que les étudiants de la Haute École de Joaillerie savent parfaitement ce qu'est un diamant synthétique, un diamant naturel, et ils ont des cours là-dessus, donc ils sont parfaitement formés et informés. Je pense qu'il y a besoin peut-être d'une communication vers le grand public pour ça, et ça c'est autre chose, c'est un autre sujet. Pour revenir sur ce que vous disiez, bien entendu, la notion de durabilité et de RSE est aujourd'hui un élément fondamental dans la formation, qui est intégré maintenant dans les enseignements, qui est complètement intégré, et c'est des sujets que comprennent et auxquels sont très très sensibles tous les étudiants, et en particulier la nouvelle génération d'étudiants, comme celle que vous avez pu voir hier, qui vous ont accueillis, qui vous ont fait visiter la Haute École de Joaillerie.
So all of our students are perfectly trained and formed to distinguish what is a synthetic diamond to a natural one. They're really sensitive and curious about this aspect of diamonds, the nature of diamonds. And what Michel said was that what the concern is to educate the larger audience, the future clients, etc. But at the Haute École de Joaillerie, all of our students are perfectly trained to distinguish what is a natural diamond to a non-natural one.
Thank you. I have one final question.
No question. I would like to say, I'm Roberto Coin. Congratulations on what you're doing. A very much needed education worldwide in this industry is missing. There is a lot of unknowledgeable people. We need your help to create the future, and stay as you are. There is a lot of stupid people around the world, including me, which I should learn even. I should come to your school today. So it is the future. Do it well. Thank you very much. And I'm impressed about what you're doing in France, by the way. Je suis content que ce que vous faisiez en France. Très content, monsieur. Merci. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. We're going to wrap it up now, and I want to thank all the panel for excellent answers and questions, and the audience, incredible. Thank you so much indeed. Thank you.
And before you leave the stage, please, I will call Madame Bernadette Binet-Cuoc and Dr. Gaetano Cavalieri on stage. Thank you.
Okay. So, thank you very much, and again, thank you for this very interesting panel. And I want to say that myself coming from Sicily, the people coming from Sicily is always hot and passionate. And I can see that also in this room, even though people is not coming from Sicily, is hot and passionate. Especially when we talk about laboratory grown and synthetic. And the role of CIBJO and its board is to collect all this passion and... Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All this passion and sometimes expression of dreams that each one of us would like always somebody else to handle, because the dream is so heavy that maybe it's better that somebody else is handling. What we do, we have a process, a decision process, which is not easy, is partially complicated, but is a decision process. And we have rules, and the rules are there to be followed. So everything has been said, not only today or yesterday or tomorrow, whenever, has to be put into the right container and start checking one by one and make a number of considerations in order to actualize, put everything into the right frame, and then take a conscious, clear, responsible, understandable decision. Why I'm saying that? Number one, there are rules and regulations, suggestions that obviously are important. We are not a government. We are not a parliament. We cannot issue any law. But, as is written in our bylaws, we respect the law of all the countries where we are present and or operate. So the laws, if the people of each country want to change the law, has to go to the parliament, to the government, to the authorities and the right body in order to change the law. Synthetic, laboratory grown. The issue is not specifically in the name of synthetic or laboratory grown or whatever. Both are legitimate products. Both are legitimate products. You may remember when there was, many years ago, the issue related to butter and margarine. Do you remember? If not, please go back, you check into the internet, and that's what we do. We don't make education, with all the due respect, through Facebook or social media. Social media are very nice to post the picture of the Congress and all the other stuff, because there are today, especially today, there are too many fake things that through the artificial intelligence, when is misused, is a product of something different. And why I'm saying that? Because the base of this problem is the fact that, number one, maybe at the time who started that kind of marketing was wrong, number one. Number two, the issue lies in the fact that, as I have said, and I quote myself, many times in the many years in the past, honesty you cannot buy at the supermarket. Or you are honest, or you are not. So if I have something which is, for instance, in leather, that I sell as a leather, I have to say this is a leather. If I have to sell something which is not a leather, and as they call simil leather or plastic, you have to sell as it is. We are assisting to a big revolution now, because we saw in the market the prices going down in the laboratory grown / synthetic, or vice versa, as you wish. But still the product is that product, and everybody can choose. So in one side, our role in terms of education, not only this panel, but generally speaking, is essential in order to bring the right message to the consumer, and the consumer has to be put in condition to choose consciously. If I want to spend $100, I spend. If I want to spend $1 million, I do. But in both cases, the consumer has to be conscious. And cheating and be dishonest is a crime. What's happened in China, we heard yesterday during the panel, because at a certain moment, drop incredibly the market of natural diamond. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I was in a meeting with super top people in Beijing, including the CEO of Chow Tai Fook, who is sitting in our board, that he said that there was some, I would say, conditions through which the people, the consumers, were be treated in not in an appropriate way, and they lost confidence. So again, we go into the consumer confidence. Yes, we in CIBJO have a responsibility, but not only us. This is not meaning that sharing responsibility is partially an endorsement of not be guilty. If this industry is guilty, the entire industry is guilty. Otherwise, the industry is not guilty. So that means that each one of us has to play its own part honestly. Honestly. And this is not negotiable. There is a specific definition of honesty. You do things transparently, correctly, then, and I can continue, and then you are defined, perceived, considered honest. But honesty is something that when, at least myself, I look myself in the mirror when I shave in the morning, I understand. I don't need to put my eyes somewhere else. And when I talk to the people, I talk straight into the eye, not looking somewhere else. And this is honesty, and the people has to be honest in a way that our consumers and those people that are around us is clearly percepting what we say in the right way. But why? Because we are clear when we transmit the message, whatever it is. If we are unclear, this is happen. And there is a lot of people that I want to quote a very old sentence. It's very easy, go fishing in the dirty water. We do not have any dirty water. Our water is clean and transparent. And the people has to behave and act in the right way, honestly. Reputation is not something that we, again, can buy in the supermarket. It's not. My father told me, if you make a mistake, you pay yourself. And in the meantime, happened to me, I was young, that somebody came to me and I asked, why you are coming to this company? Said, because my grandmother used to work with your grandfather, and she said that your company is reliable. So reliability, assistance, education in that sense. We had the student yesterday here, and these people is making effort. And now we're going to announce something which is very important in that sense. But again, criticizing is the most easiest thing in the world. Please come on stage and be your part. Each one of us has to do that. Because again, when the problem is there, it's always easy to let somebody else handle the problem. Let's handle the problem together. I call each one of us to make its own part properly, transparently, and honestly. Thank you very much. You know, I come from Sicily, I'm passionate. By the way, let's go now to something that is following what I said with my traditional passion with this wonderful lady, Alessia, to announce, and I pass on to Bernadette to announce what we are going to announce now. Bernadette.
C'est toi qui dis.
Non, c'est toi.
Qu'est-ce que je dis alors?
Okay, I understand, but
Qu'est-ce que je dois dire?
Okay. I translate directly from. I translate from the brain to brain automatically. Okay. So, as you have seen yesterday, and was also posted the picture of the school, the high jewelry school here at BGOP. We have, with the Foundation Mani Intelligenti, the so-called Politecnico of Arts and Craft of Confcommercio in Milano, and with CAPAC, which is the school itself. We are setting up a school for craftsmen in order to teach them how to create high jewelry. We have considered the fact that a lot of people, when they retire, but still when they retire, they are full of experience, knowledge, and something to bring on to the new generation. So the old people, in this case in Valenza, in Italy, they have been approached in order to, they were the head of the manufacturing area of several factories, important factories, and they will come to teach to the student, to the young generation, and prepare the ground in order to send all these people, in particular, foreign students coming from several parts of the world, including the less fortunate part of the world, and bringing this student, addressing the student, showing them the way to follow. In order to do that, when I spoke to Bernadette, she was and she is enthusiast, and we decided, and this is the announcement, to make not only a simple alliance amongst educational hub, but about the center of the excellence in the high-end French jewelry, and what will be the international hub that we are going to open hopefully at the very beginning of next year. But we thought that was appropriate, and we felt compelled to announce now to you, in order that whatever is coming from your comments, from your inputs, is most welcome. And again, these organizations and this industry is willing to bring to the young generations what we have done up to now and what we will do in the future. And I urge to call you, please, to help us in doing it, or to correct what we are going to do in the future, maybe mistakes, because, you know, there is, I know only somebody that is not make mistakes, but he lives in the penthouse. So certainly it's not me. But again, what we are doing is something that we want to pass on to the new generation, what we have done during our life in this heart, and probably increase the quality of the young generation doing our part as an industry towards the future, towards the industry itself, and towards a better knowledge, even though it's boring the technical stuff in the blue books or is less boring in the guides. But let's work together, and let's take decision together, and let's contribute each one for what each one is capable to contribute. It's not important who is doing more or who is doing less, but let's do it. Thank you very much. Now you.
Thanks, Gaetano. In fact, I have a problem. My spirit is in French, and my speak is in English for you. My heart is in English.
Thank you very much.
And I would, sorry, I take my notes because it is very important to share with you. On behalf of the HEJ, Haute École de Joaillerie, and the Union Française, with the President of Union, Monsieur Cambour. I welcome all partnership, all connection, and all opening with the world. As I said yesterday, we have three treasures in English. The first is youth and the education. The second is link together, and the third is the place. And it is a marvelous connection with Italian friends, and it is very online with our values. Voilà. Merci. Merci, Gaetano.
I think it's time for a coffee now. Thank you very much.